These are the best iPhones we've ever created.
So yeah, basically Apple just launched the same thing over and over again. Yeah. Why do I need to... I don't understand. It's like, 120Hz has been on a budget Android phone for quite some time. Some budget phones even have USB-C and stuff like that. Wait, is that rolling?
Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and take care.
Well, that's the Apple event. So, I haven't made a video for quite some time, so why not let's do another reactions towards Apple's September event. So yeah, the event actually passed like a couple of days ago, but yeah, I'm always slow. Yeah, I like my pace. So I'll start off with the boring stuff first. So basically what we get at the beginning of the Apple event is just Apple TV Plus stuff like that. Nothing special about that. That's just some new shows and some new movies and stuff like that. There's also Apple Fitness Plus. Let me just throw in all the services. So it's coming to Malaysia, so all of you fitness nuts and stuff like that can definitely sign up for the subscription if you want to work out in front of your Apple devices. And there are definitely updates to the iPad itself. So we got two new iPads this year. So basically the iPad 9 generation over here, which is just an incremental update of the previous generation. They are dropping the gold color in favor of just only silver and space gray, with the silver model having the black front already right now. So I'm not sure why they do something like that, but it's something like the iPhone SE. So you get the new Apple A13 Bionic processor inside of them. Not new, but it's the same processor with the iPhone 11, and you get the center stage camera system that you see in the iPad Pro earlier this year, which I think it's pretty cool. It will follow you, the camera itself, and then it will just basically zoom out if there's another people joining the FaceTime call or whatever video conferencing app that uses center stage. And if you don't like that feature, definitely you can turn it off, and I think it's a pretty cool upgrade. And the good thing is now you're getting doubling the storage for basically the same price. For Malaysia it's 1,499, so that is a 50 ringgit price jump. Overall, it's a very affordable iPad if you really want an iPad. It does pretty much all the things as the iPad Pro. It's the iPad 9 generation, an incremental update to a very popular iPad in their lineup. Then we got the iPad mini. So the iPad mini has been long overdue. It has been 2 years since Apple updated the model. So finally we got a new overhaul towards the iPad mini design. So now with the 6th generation iPad mini, so you are getting a design that is similar to the iPad Pros and iPad Airs, a more modern look as well as feel. Some of the things for the design change for the iPad mini is it has USB-C now, so no lightning, which is awesome. And all the latest updates in the new iPad mini, including the new Apple A15 Bionic processor inside there, which was announced with the iPhone 13s that I will go into a little bit later on. You got new center stage camera that you see on the iPad 9 generation, brought originally from the Pro down to this. You got the volume buttons replacement of the location, so it goes to a new location already. So it's basically at the same point as the power button and the Touch ID button. So yeah, the iPad mini is just like a shrunken iPad Air with the A15 Bionic and weird volume placements. But overall, for iPad mini users that are looking for an upgrade, this is finally the time to do it. Prices for this has taken a hike. So for the new iPad mini price, it actually starts at 2,300 ringgit, which is quite a lot for a small tablet. Some people might skip the choice to just get the iPad Air. There is definitely cellular version for this one. In fact, the cellular version of this actually supports 5G. I don't know if you want to use your tablet with cellular connectivity. There is an option for it, and it has 5G, and it comes in 4 different finishes. After the iPads, we get a subtle update for the Apple Watch. So the Apple Watch Series 7 this time has a larger display, meaning like smaller bezels and stuff like that. And also you're getting new color finishes. So there are new 5 color finishes. You got green, white, and all of them I'll just put it up on screen for you. And basically it's actually just the Series 6 in a new body. Basically it's using the same processor, I believe, that I saw in articles. And yeah, if you already have a Series 6, definitely you can still hold off. But for like Series 0 to Series 3 owners, this is definitely a great upgrade for you if you're looking for the latest and greatest for Apple Watch. And the weird thing is, why does Apple still does this, is that they still sell the Series 3. Like, really, Apple? This watch is already a couple years old and you're still selling it for $199, or in Malaysia it's like nearly 1,000. What's wrong with you? But overall, with the Series 7, there's not really much of an update other than the actual like display itself have gotten bigger as well as gone at age to age. You got new crack resistance, stuff like that. But it will be not launched until later this year. Basically, it's the same price as the Series 6, but coming later this year. And we finally got to the things that we are most excited of, the new iPhones. So the new iPhone 13 and the 13 Pro. So let's talk about the iPhone 13 first. So basically, in my opinion, I think the 13 and the 12, the difference are not as substantial. I think if you are a 12 user, or maybe if you are an iPhone 11 user, you might still be able to hold off on your phones and stuff like that. So basically, what's new with the iPhone 13 is the new processor. Of course, every year there's improvement. So they state 50% better CPU performance compared to the competition. Not sure what Apple's metrics are. It's a little bit sketchy over there, but we all know iPhones are fast. They don't lag very fast. So not a problem over there. For the performance, you got actually the same display, but this time with a 20% smaller notch according to them. So yeah, I can tell that it's a smaller notch. So basically they fit the earpiece a little bit up and they just squeeze the Face ID module to make it smaller. Overall design and everything is still recognizable as an iPhone 12, apart for the cameras being slanted to the side. Speaking about the cameras, this iPhone 13 this time it has an sensor shift OIS camera. So basically what it is a in-body image stabilization, so you are definitely going to get better stabilization out of your videos as well as night shots and stuff like that. And all the typical Apple stuff still remains, so you don't get the charger in your box, it still uses lightning, it supports for MagSafe and stuff like that, and it comes in 5 different colors. Pricing for it is actually same as last year, but this time for the base model you actually get 128GB of storage, and now you get a 512GB option for the iPhone 12. Oh, and I also forgot to mention about the battery claims that Apple gave to the iPhone 13. So basically what they say is for the mini it lasts an hour and a half longer than the 12 mini, and for the 13 it lasts up to 2.5 hours longer than the iPhone 12 itself. Yep, that's about it for the iPhone 13. So not much changes, but some welcome changes. Definitely improve battery life and performance. I think you finally get double the storage, which is, come on, like, why do you still even ship a 64GB? And those camera improvements. And yeah, that's the iPhone 13. And let's move on to the iPhone 13 Pro. This time we actually see quite a bit of changes for the 12 Pro to the 13 Pro. So basically, we start off with the display itself. So peak brightness is definitely going to be much higher, but we have finally got it, guys. So yeah, as you all know, we've got ProMotion, but it's an adaptive refresh rate display, so it's a LTPO technology and stuff like that. But basically what Apple will do is they will depend on your swipes and gestures and stuff to change the overall refresh rate, so you wouldn't waste that much battery life. So if you're doing more intense stuff, definitely it will keep it at the higher refresh rate and stuff like that. But basically if you're reading on the web page and scrolling slowly, they will change vary between like 10 to 120. When you stop scrolling, it will remain at 10 just to conserve power. And with the iPhone 13 Pro, you actually get the same A15 Bionic processor as the regular 13, but for the GPU core, it actually has additional 1 GPU core for the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. For the Pro version, there is definitely going to be better graphics performance over there. And just like the iPhone 13, the 13 Pro also gets a lot of new updates for the cameras. Unlike last year, the 12 Pro Max and the 12 Pro does have a difference in camera performance. So you only get the sensor shift OIS as well as the bigger camera sensors with the 13 Pro Max. But this year, with the 13 Pro, it reverts back to the original stuff. So basically, both of them have the same camera. Both of them have the same wide-angle ultra-wide as well as telephoto camera, this time with wider apertures. For the telephoto camera, you actually are able to zoom even more, so it's a 3 times optical zoom at f2.8 aperture. You got a wide-angle camera that is at 1.5, so that's going to be great for portraits to have that shallow depth of field. You got a new ultra-wide camera actually. This time actually you can take photos using macro on the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. So basically it uses the ultra-wide sensor, and with the f1.8 aperture, definitely you can take some really shallow depth of field. And no, I'm so sorry. And for the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max, you also get Apple ProRes video. So basically you can do ProRes up to 4K 30 frames per second, bring it into Final Cut Pro, do your editing stuff, and deliver it in ProRes. I forgot to mention that there is cinematic mode, so basically it's just rack focusing. For the iPhone 13 Pro, and pretty much all 13 models will have it. It's capped at 1080p 30 frames per second, so basically it uses artificial intelligence to rack focus between two different person, or a person and object, stuff like that. Definitely there are other phones that are already doing something like this, but it's nice to have it on iPhone, and I think a lot of users are going to love this feature, or probably not use it. And also, did I mention that the camera module in the iPhone 13 Pro, it's a little bit like, damn boy, he's sick! Pretty much everything else is the same, so you get lightning again, no charging brick in the box. I'm not going to say all those stuff. And this is the iPhone 13 Pro itself. It's an incremental update, again, not something huge, but if for those people which are really focused on those photo and video and stuff, this is definitely a good update to your previous generation. And if you do own a 12 Pro and Pro Max, I don't think that's a necessity to go upgrade that fast. Prices for the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max are definitely the same. You get 128GB of storage all the way up to 1TB of storage, and the starting price is also still the same, so $4,899 for the 13 Pro, and for the 13 Pro Max, which is $5,300. And the 1TB model is literally, wow, like, jeez, it's very high. But if you need 1TB of storage, I mean, like, who needs 1TB of? And that's basically all about the Apple event. So new iPads, new iPad 9 generation, new iPad mini, definitely love it. Apple Watch Series 7, not something special, it's just basically a larger watch. Would have expected a lot more from this Series 7 though. iPhone 13, 13 Pro, some really minor updates for the iPhone itself. So my take is, if you do own Apple products that were launched in last year or even a year before, like we say the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max, there's actually not a need to go out to rush and just to upgrade the devices if your devices are already working pretty well already. But if you're using something like an iPhone 8, iPhone 7, iPhone 10, maybe a 10s or an iPhone 10R, yeah, definitely you can consider upgrading. Yeah, that's basically it about Apple's event. So only some incremental updates. For me, it's like, it's not like pretty exciting. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Definitely hope you could leave a like, subscribe, stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it from my side. I'll see you on the next one.